You got to get them to anticipate the window. They see you
Yeah.
moving.
I hear some breathing hard.
Yeah, always
I mean,
like 40s.
Everything's being evaluated, right? All right. Those of you that jogged it on over, I'll go ahead and start for you guys. Those people that are walking over, I'm just going to go ahead. I thought today was a lot of really good work. Had a bunch of situations. 2-minute red zone, some move the ball stuff. I thought early on, the offense did some good things early on, and then I think the defense kind of responded a little bit as the practice went along. I think the best thing, about all this work is, I think all of our guys are competing extremely hard, and I think has to be a foundational piece for, our football team this year is just that, competitive nature, and so I'm pleased with what I'm getting out of that. Again, we had the officials out here today, and there's a few things that need to be cleaned up, and yet I thought, for the amount of plays that we ran today, I thought it was relatively clean. So they'll be out here again the next couple of days, so we'll have some game-like situations. So
I was going to ask, is it going to kind of be high volume like this all week?
Well, yeah, I think we may. I'm going to look at the play counts a little bit, and we may knock a few off tomorrow, but and we'll probably kind of taper it down a little bit as the week goes on. But today was it was a grinder for a reason, and I thought our guys pushed through it.
It was sort of a revised script since you didn't have the joint practices. You were like, how can we make these competitive?
Yeah, well, I think it was a lot of what we would have done against the 49ers had they been here, and trying to create as many of those game-like situations as we can. So, again, I thought it was good practice.
And I noticed that the walkthroughs were offense on one field, defense on one field. Was that so that the other didn't know what was being thrown at them, sort of, as opposed to a scripted practice?
No, not really. I mean, in terms of the scripted practices, the only thing that either side of the ball knew was what's the down and distance and what's the personnel grouping. That's so. So the on the script, the defense had no idea what the plays were going to be. I'm talking about the coaches.
Yeah.
And the offensive coaches, and had no idea what the defensive play call was going to be, and so it was probably as close to game-like as you can possibly get.
Do you normally do that in a camp, or that was in place of having another team here?
No, that was something that I just thought we needed to do. I think, look, there's something to when we script these practices to make sure we're getting kind of the plays that we need to get, the looks that we need to see, and so there's a choreography about all of that. And there's a lot of script review that happens before you come out to practice, right? And so, but that's not how the game's played. And so I thought it was important for us to, just go out here and kind of play football. And have to be able to call the game that way also. So, and then there was a couple of periods that were just totally unscripted, nothing. Offense will put out a personnel grouping, defense got to figure it out, and the officials were marking the ball where they thought it would come down. So kind of a controlled scrimmage, if you will. So that's kind of how we operated today.
We can see a little bit about like the kicking competition, but maybe not so much about the punters. How do you think that's gone through this point?
Yeah, look, I think it's a competitive, situation. Both of these guys, both have strong legs. Both have had really good days. Both have some things that they still need to try to improve on. And I think it's a legitimate, competition there. So we're not ready to make any decisions and let these preseason games play out. But I do think it's a good competition.
As you referenced, I think that maybe back in OTAs you needed to kind of see the ability to flip the field a little bit more. Has Lou gotten better in that regard than he was last week?
Yeah, and look, I think when you really look at Lou and the season that he had last year, we kind of put together a chart in terms of all of his kicks, and the thing that comes out is there's a lot of consistency. If you just look at it plotted on a graph, all the dots are kind of in the same area, and so you know exactly what you're getting, and there's a comfort level to that. And you see some of these other, plots, and there'll be one dot over here, which is a really long kick and flips the field, but there'll be one over here that, is one of these 20-yarders or 25-yarders. So I like that I know from a consistency standpoint pretty much what I'm getting. I do think he's gotten better in terms of some traditional punts instead of the end over end Aussie style, and yet I still think that's an area that he can still work to improve on.
Pete? Okay, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
A couple of weeks of training camp practice and a preseason game. How do you see Fuaga has progressed as you go along?
Yeah, look, I think the biggest thing for me with him is I don't think the game's too big for him. I rarely see him make the same mistakes twice. And yet I think he needs to get out there and play football and play in these preseason games and get some reps and, understand, what he can and can't do. And until you get out there in games, you really don't know. And so I think every day's a learning experience for him, much like it is for every other rookie that's out here. But I do see him improving on a daily basis.
We obviously see a ton of positions where you compete and rotate. Safety, we just talked about yesterday. You did it with left guard for a while, linebacker. What's the philosophy behind right tackle has not been an open competition so far as you?
Well, I would disagree with that in terms of, I think there's part of it with the offensive line and trying to create some cohesiveness with a group. And yet there's got to be some competition. And I also think this. I think that I'm looking for, okay, I want to see one of these other guys step up and tell me that they need to be the guy. And so, this isn't, we don't run a charity organization where we just give things away. I mean, guys have to go out and earn it, and you start somewhere, right? And then, like, I'm looking for, okay, where are the signs, that say, Coach, you need to put me in here. And where we're at today, I still feel like we've got the right 5 guys out there, but we're going to continue to evaluate it at all those spots.
Oliudo obviously missed a significant amount of time with the injury. What have you seen from him from July 22nd through whatever?
I would say there's still some inconsistencies, and yet, if you watch play after play after play, you see some good things. But I would say in relationship to that, or in relationship to the left guard position, like I'm waiting to see who just jumps out there and says, "This is my job," and so we'll figure it out.
Yeah, with your background kind of as a defensive coach, and so many teams trying to replicate like either this offense or kind of that Shanahan offense. They're going to make of when so many teams try and run the same type of scheme. And is that newer since you've been in the league? Like them trying to replicate this offense specifically, or does it kind of come and go in waves of?
No, I mean, I don't think there's anything new to it. I mean, I think, look, this is a copycat league, you know, and so everybody's trying to see what's being successful in our league, and they're trying to mimic those things the best that they can. And so, now, what's that style or what's that, you know, scheme? You know, I think sometimes that changes. But I don't think there's any question that, you know, we're all watching the tapes. We're all evaluating all 32 teams, and I mean, I'm not ashamed to say if somebody's doing something really good, I'm not above trying to steal it.
Does the scheme lose its effectiveness then when so many teams are trying to replicate it?
I mean, if it's effective, then it's still effective, right? You know what I mean? So, no. And look, I'm going to be honest with you, okay? It's not about the scheme. You know, everybody talks about the scheme. Like, there's some of that, right? But it's about how you teach it, you know, the detail, how you demand the details, the effort that you play with, the precision with which you play. I'm talking about in all phases, right? Offense, defense, and the kicking game. Everybody wants to talk about what you play. You know, I think a lot more of it's about how you play. And so, look, I think there's some coaching staffs that do an excellent job of teaching, whether it's offense, defense, kicking game, and then they're holding guys accountable to doing their job and doing it right. And so if you have good players, okay, and you teach it with precision and you hold guys accountable, and then the players hold each other accountable, that's where you have success. So, yeah, some of it's scheme, but there's a lot more to it than just the scheme.
When Kendra Miller got hurt 3 weeks ago, you expressed some concern just about it being hard to make the team from the training room.
Hadn't gotten easier.
Well, where do you stand with that evaluation now, and do y'all feel like you're going to be able to have a full evaluation by the time?
Same place I was when we started training camp. You know, I got no other information to go off of. So, yeah, I still think it's challenging. You know,
Be more of a comment with him, but like he's been doing side work, but he hasn't like taken that next step to get back to team. And we've seen other guys with hamstrings that do the same and then get back.
they're all different. You know, they're all different. And so, but you know, guys like DeMario Davis, who I've been with since 2018, right? And he's made a lot of plays for us. All right, I'm going to be a lot more, like I got a lot more information to base my evaluation off of than just what I see out here in training camp. Some of these other young guys that I don't have as much information on, it's hard for me to say that guy, and I'm not just talking about him in general, or, you know, specifically. I mean, this could apply to a lot of guys, you know. If they're not able to get out here and practice, how can I evaluate it?
Was Tendre's a little bit more severe in the compared to some of the others?
Well, he's not out here yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know about severity. I just know that, you know, you go through a rehab process, and some guys are able to get back out here quicker than others.
Do you have any update on Hedley for?
He had the other hamstring today. All right. Thanks, guys.
It's good that you can't let when you bad, you know, they were.
Just rehab it.
So Fuaga.
Very good. Look good. All right.
Probably not to say comfortable, but how much do you feel like you've progressed here in training camp?
I think I progressed a good amount, especially after that first game. You know, it kind of starts to slow down a bit, especially going against good guys at practice like Chase Young and Carl Granderson. So.
Yeah, how did the game go? I mean, was there anything that you had to adjust to, or right from the beginning it felt like it was going pretty well?
Definitely I had a lot of nervousness going into the game for sure. Had a lot of butterflies, but after that first snap, it kind of it helped me out just to get a bang in there, and but it was everything we kind of seen on film and all that practice for. So.
And there's been a difference since you came back out here on the field. The way you feel, the comfortability and that helps everything lock into place a little bit?
Yeah, for sure, because I'm it's just starting to slow down. I was talking to Derek Carr the other day, and he's like, I bet it starts to slow down after that first game, and I was like, it for sure does, so, yeah.
You mentioned Chase and Carl. What did they teach you, or what have they taught you?
I think really with Carl is he's a physical player. I mean, he comes out there with a nastiness and comes out with a nasty streak, and I like going against players like that because, going into a game, I know other players aren't going to be as physical as Carl, and Chase Young, he's just an athlete, you don't see guys that big and being able to move that good, so.
What kind of role has Lucas Patrick had for you? I noticed he's kind of always talking to you.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's like a father, big brother kind of figure, and he's been here in the league for many years, and just him being able to give me little tips and reminders of different kind of plays, different kind of, even just off the field, hey, how you doing? He gives me a hug once in a while just because it gets tough out here in camp, especially for a rookie. So he's been a big help for me.
When did he give you a hug?
Man, any day I look down or anything, he just gives me a hug randomly. So
there's no reason. It's just yeah, it's hug time.
Yeah, it's hug time. You know what I'm saying? So, but he's a great guy. So.
What do you like about the developmental period of the practice? Anything?
Nothing specific. It's just me to get another rep with the guys in my group. So it's just a extra rep for me.
Do you only take one and then kind of go? Or?
Yeah, I only take one, but yeah, they just have me in there. So yeah, it's a good time.
Okay. What do you think it does for kind of the rest of the other rookies and first-year young players to get those extra reps at the end?
I think it's good because we don't always get to see the extra reps, and just me being out there, I'm also a rookie, so I got to do what everybody else is doing. I'm not above or below anybody else, so I'm a rookie and I'm with them, and I got to get my plays in too. So.
You talked about your patience as a tackle. How do you develop that as opposed to being over-aggressive?
I think just being able to get a lot of reps versus these guys, and just being able to just sit there and just, hey, calm down, take a deep breath before you set, and just being able to just stay calm and know you got to be aggressive also with your hands and stuff. So.
I know you said before you ran a lot of this type of run scheme while you were in college. How would you kind of compare or contrast the way Clint and JB and all those guys teach it here?
I definitely think it's it's sort of the same thing, just running through your aiming points and all that kind of stuff, but there's a lot of different motions and a lot of different aspects that kind of add onto the game, which helps tackles, especially as a rookie. I think all these motions, a different kind of scheme, it helps mess with the DN, so it helps me able to take on better DNs and stuff. So
we obviously asked you about that transition to left tackle so many times. I mean, you were confident throughout the process, but was there a specific time, whether it's now or first week of camp or anything, where that comfortability really kicked in? Or?
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be times where I'm down and thinking man, this left tackle stuff is hard, but that's every day. Every day is gonna be hard, but you just gotta be able to push through and know that you're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some. So.
It was good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
Luke.
How you doing?
How are you?
Great, thanks, mate.
What did you accomplish in the first game compared to what you were hoping? Like, what was your review of how you did in that game?
Yeah, I think the first game, just compared to last year starting off, I think I was a lot more comfortable out there. The nerves were down. Kind of felt like I belonged out there on the NFL stage. So it was good to get a good first game under the belt and just kind of carry that through to the next 2 preseason games and keep building off it.
And we talked to you, I know, earlier this offseason about how you were trying to add some elements, some of the more traditional, I don't know if you would call it, but like, how is that process going for you throughout the summer?
Yeah, I think that's definitely something I wanted to come in and improve on. So, I mean, like I said, I think the best thing for me is just to get put in those situations during games, kind of backed up punts, and just build off that.
Lou, how would you kind of just assess you know nothing but competition at an NFL training camp. How's this one going?
Yeah, so obviously got another Aussie in here with Matty, and he's doing great, you know what I mean? Super proud of Matt. We're pretty good buddies, so it's good to see him coming in and we can kind of use each other, bounce off each other to have him in my corner and vice versa. So it's good having Matty here, and yeah, it's the kitchen's hot right now in the specialist room, so I think it's like that in most of the rooms with the Saints, so it's kind of good. Competition is great, and it's a National Football League, so you know what I mean, it's always great to have good competition.
Easier to go through that when you're doing it with a friend?
Yeah, I'd say it's different, you know what I mean? The competition aspect's still there, obviously, but it's good having him, like I said, in my corner, and we can bounce ideas off each other and stuff, and our journeys are very similar coming over from Australia, so like I said, super proud of how he's come in and done his thing. So
is it like kind of a tight fraternity, and like people coming over from Australia to play?
Yeah, there's a few Aussies coming over now, especially in the college football system, so it's good to see that more are bouncing into the NFL level, and I think that'll keep growing from you'll get more and more.
How strange is it to be the veteran in the competition?
Yeah, I mean, it is strange. I feel like, coming off my first year, I don't really have that veteran feel yet. I think I like learning every day and beginner's mentality, so I kind of feel still fresh to it. So I kind of teach him a little bit, but at the end of the day, I'm kind of new to it as well. So coming into year 2, I'm kind of just excited. More so just feel that comfortability out there on game day. I think that's a lot better this year, and even with the operation with me, Zach and Blake going out there for field goals, even feels a lot better. So it's good.
Was adding some distance on maybe the backup kicks, I know you're working on those today, was that something you went through the offseason maybe looking at?
Yeah, definitely. I think I needed to improve on that, and that's something that I kind of went into the off-season improving, and like I said, I think the best way to do it is get put in those situations. So hopefully over the next couple of preseason games, I'll have an opportunity to kind of flip the field.
I mean, how do you work on that? Because it's just like, obviously, so if we see it, just you kick it harder. Like, what is kind of the?
Just spiraling the ball. You know what I mean? Obviously, I've got an Aussie style kick that I use a lot, which I'm confident in. I don't think many players can do what I can do in that aspect, but obviously backed up, you want to hit big turnovers and kind of flip the field and put our defense in the best opportunity they have.
The DA was kind of bringing up like your consistency last year, kind of like just knew what he was getting out of you on a monthly basis.
Yep.
Like how big is that, just say in terms of like for what y'all are trying to do with coverage, to just be able to put the ball where you're supposed to be?
Yeah, I think consistency, in this league is everything. You know what I mean? So I feel like we did a great job last year eliminating return yards and putting the ball in a good direction. So it's kind of still building off that, but adding another element with spiraling ball when we're backed up, and obviously location and hang time is still a huge aspect of that part of the game. So yeah, obviously, coverage is important, and direction is really important, because you see any, even if it's a nice ball, if it's anywhere in the middle, the returners are too good. You know what I mean? They'll return it 20 yards in a blink of an eye. So direction's everything.
Did I get the expression right? You said the kitchen is hot?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we've got a hot kitchen right now in the specialist room, but that's the way it should be, you know what I mean? I think Coach Riz, his standards are very high, and we're just trying to live up to those standards every day. Expectations are high, and that's the way it should be in this league, you know what I mean? I want to keep growing off it and getting better and better.
Now, you're a guy who came over a different sport and picked up football late.
Yep.
Was it cool to see Charlie make that kick?
Oh yeah, definitely. You know what I mean? It's a little different for Charlie boy, because I had most people coming over have the kind of go through that stage of college, freshman, sophomore, etc. So he kind of come in as like a freshman NFL player, you know what I mean? So he was just straight off the boat, and it was really awesome. His first NFL kick was a game winner this past Saturday. So you know what I mean? When you could tell the reaction from him, he's everything. You know what I mean? He's worked his butt off, and super proud how he's been development from the first time I met him in the off season to OTAs to now training camp, and then to put it forward in games. He's kind of elevating every day, so it's good to see him, and the sky's the limit for that kid.
Charlie boy, is that like a nod to his Irishness?
Yeah, Charlie boy, Charlie lad. You got to put something on it.
Thank you very much.
All right, cool.
Good.
Appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Concerned about how many Iowa State players they're bringing into this team this offseason?
No, no, they're good guys. They're good guys. They got good ball over there.
How's your camp going?
think-
Having a whole offseason to be an NFL player only.
I think it's been going pretty solid. Obviously, there's stuff I want to work on every day, no matter what. Like even if I'm doing well or doing bad, just trying to stack days every day, and then just show up on game day and put good film out there, and so I can rush the passer, so I can play the run at a high level, and just add a little bit more to my game.
What was your review of your performance in the
I thought I showed a good power rush. I wish I would have finished on a couple of them. I wish I would have took the gap on the roughing the passer right away, because then I would have not got pushed in the back and tripped. But you live and you learn. Especially I was playing D end at that spot. I mean, just a game time adjustment because we're low on guys at D end there. They rest all the older guys, so towards the end. So, and that's just trying to. I showed stuff I was playing. I played 0 shade, 3 2-eye, a 5, a 6-eye. So I played almost across every alignment you can on the D line, and I had a low amount of snaps, but you can make an impact in the snaps you get. If you can have 100 snaps, you don't do anything 100 snaps. You're just out there. But if you get 12, go out and do what you can do. And so there's like 2 plays I wish I had back. But I thought I did pretty solid, especially because I was in, and that was good for me in that situation.
How important is kind of that developmental period for you at the end of practice? Do you like getting those extra opportunities?
Oh, absolutely. Anytime, like football, like it's great when you're fresh, but the developmental period, like you're going and you have no subs, so you're just going out there and working and see how you get when you get tired. And it's nice to be able to go out there knowing you're going to play the whole time. And like that's what I said we got all the other guys. I mean, we got a pretty good group of D linemen across the board, interior and exterior. So I enjoy the developmental period. It's just guys just going out and basically playing. It's simple play calls. They're not putting you in crazy exotic blitzes. They just want to see what you can do.
Do you kind of have to like psych yourself up for it right before you get there? Like, is there something like about knowing like, all right, I'm going to play for the next 8 minutes or?
No, it's just go out there and just focus on what I can do. Just the key, and just have fun doing it. I mean, we're out here in camp, and we're playing something we've done since Pee Wee.
Playing all those different positions you did in the preseason game that you just mentioned, like, I know some of that was new on the fly, but like, is that developmental period also help with that?
Yeah, because I actually got some reps like the week before in there, just knowing it might happen, and just going out and playing ball. It was nice to actually get some of those reps. So, I mean, I'm listed as a nose, so then you go out and play defensive end. It's a lot of space. I'm telling you, it's a lot different than having a center right on you and a guard. So it was a good time.
You got to operate, right? Like, I mean, you got to show off like moves that you don't normally get to use, or?
Yeah, I wasn't getting too exotic. I wasn't steering too far of who I am. I was just kind of letting myself do what I can do.
random, but what do you make of Brian Brzez's spin move?
I mean, it's very good, and it's just nice to watch him. Like, he worked hard, and just you can see it through Indy. He's always just walking through his steps, working hard on it, and then he goes in and he shows it. I mean, he's a big, strong guy with really quick feet, so he can do a lot of things, and it's just not from his natural ability, it's just from his work ethic. So the spin move's fun to watch. He started trying to get guys to learn it. It's a little too much for me. I like to keep my eyes on the quarterback, but it's a hell of a move for him.
Thank you.
Good to go. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good one.
This is probably a blunt way to put this, but what hasn't worked out for you? I mean, you look like you're doing great out here. Why do you think you didn't get more opportunities in the last couple of years in the NFL?
Shoot, I don't know. I mean, it's just the way there's so many players cycling through. Sometimes you don't get the look you always want to, but it's just about staying ready. And then whenever the op does come, just all the work that you put in, hopefully it comes to light, and you just go out there and get to do your thing and show the coaches that you are ready and you can play with the best of the best.
Are you happy with what you're showing out here?
A little bit, yeah. I feel like I'm in the groove somewhat. I'm still trying to find it, and then still trying to pick up the plays. Still a little frazzled a little bit, but doing really good with it. Trying to spend some extra time with the coaches and trying to get them down.
Had you, in between the last time you were in a camp, had you had how many NFL tryouts, auditions, rookie minicamp workouts? Have you had many opportunities yet?
Not a lot. Since with the Colts, my last preseason a couple of years back, I've had to probably say 3 workouts with teams. I've been in the USFL 1 year, and then this past season got to do the UFL with my older brother Kai, and it was awesome getting to play by his side. And so yeah, not too much experience, but enough experience to be ready and for when the opportunity does come.
You think that most recent opportunity kind of led to this one? What kind of got you on the same radar, you think?
I think so, honestly. I did a lot more on special teams work over there, and I felt like I put my best film out there on special teams, showing I could make tackles, showing I could stay in the box on punts and block some of the bigger guys, and then go out with some of the speedsters and beat them and make some tackles. So I think coaches were able to see the opportunity that I am a bigger body that I'm able to do more than just catch a ball.
Is your brother Kai also a receiver?
He's a safety, so going against a battle against him every day was an opportunity of a lifetime, let me tell you. I got to watch that guy be a superstar all growing up, and then finally getting to battle that superstar. Woo! It was a lot of smack talk in practices, a lot of me winning, I hope he doesn't see this, but yeah.
Next question.
Yeah, but it was super fun out there. Kai's a safety. He's him and my older brother Isaiah, more the defensive guys. They want to hit. I'll hit you, but obviously I want I want to finesse a little bit more.
Did he give you an extra one in practice or anything?
Oh my gosh, all the time. All the time. I'm probably blocking a corner and the play's the other way, and he's just sprinting across, just come and headbutt me real quick.
It's like the dream to get one on your big brother,
Oh my goodness. I was hoping that we could have been on opposite teams so I could have scored on a real touchdown. That would have been awesome. But, doing it in practice was pretty cool too. So I got some film from the practices I got on him.
So when you're going through this, I mean, a couple years, waiting for your opportunity, to get to a point where you want to give up on it, how do you hold on to that and hope dream that they land in the NFL?
I have older siblings that have gone through a process similar. Kai was an undrafted free agent, spent 7 years in the league bouncing around, and taking notes from him, listening to him, helped keep my head in it, keep my heart in it when times aren't feeling like it's going your way and you feel like giving up. I was able to hear great advice from him, and then having family that was very supportive, and then coming out this last year and seeing what my younger brother Puka was able to do, really just gave me bursts of energy and of life and the love for the game again, and finding and seeing that, and I'm like, I taught that kid everything he knows. I could do it too, so just keep going with it. So yeah, there was a lot of ups and downs, but I had a very strong support system that helped kept me pushing.
Were your off days aligned at all so you could see Puka while you're out here?
I did. Mom came out here for his preseason game, and so I got a quick second to go and grab dinner with him and Mom, and our cousin Maris too on the Cowboys came out to dinner with us, and just it's good to see family. It's always a nice time to step away, forget about everything, just see loved ones and just laugh and love. It was awesome.
I was going to ask you, when you just said about Puka, I mean, the season he had inspired you?
It inspired me, and not even just being a receiver, of just like all the hard work he's put in, and that I felt like I've always put in, and seeing that it does come to light no matter where the coaches projected or scouts project you to be. It's just like you put in the work, the cream will rise to the top, and it's just always going to work out for you in the end.
But did he even surprise you a little bit? I mean,
For sure. I think he surprised the whole family. We knew the kid was really good. I mean, I've seen it his whole life, but to come out and honestly set records and do that in such a big league against great competitors, and do that week in and out, and stay healthy enough to play all games, it was a movie for us to be there, sit back and watch him do what he does.
You mentioned being able to show them what you can do blocking and tackling and special teams. Have you changed your physicality at all from when you first entered the league to now? Did you decide to bulk up or get stronger or anything?
100%. After seeing also what Puka did besides just catching a lot of motions, going to enter and inserting and blocking, coming down into the box and blocking big guys, I knew I had to, from my first years entering to now, I had to be more physical. I had to bring out some of the older brother mentality, and like back in the day in the backyard football, and just be more of a dog and have the mindset of like, I'm willing to take on anybody, no matter if it's O-line or if it's middle linebackers, D-line, or the secondary in the back.
What was your weight in Colts camp versus now?
Sorry, what'd you say?
Your weight in when you were in Colts camp versus now, has that changed much?
It has changed. I think I was a bit lighter. I'm still a bit lighter right now. When I was out in the UFL, I was a lot bigger. I just been running around with Puka and stuff, and he was slimming down, so I started slimming down a little bit. So I got to bulk up a little bit. But yeah, my physique has gotten a lot bigger for sure.
Well, you guys are obviously different players, but do you think Puka's success at all, maybe cause teams to take another look at you,
Shoot, maybe they were able to go back and see some tape from college. I did a lot more blocking in college too, so I've always taken a big pride in blocking. So maybe they were able to see that, like, hey, this kid is actually willing to do some blocking for us, and unlike some other receivers, but like our receiver group's been really good with blocking. They've installed a great job with our coaching of picking up the run system to help our running backs get open. So it's been awesome actually being part of this and seeing our receivers do what we do.
And then from the gap between the Colts and now, I know you had stints in the developmental league, but were you able to focus on football the whole time, or did you have to take up other jobs?
Oh yeah, I was doing a lot of stuff. I worked at a little restaurant for a quick second, Italian restaurant down in Provo, Utah. I was working with some friends at his warehouse, helping him with his business. I've done some flooring, so I was doing some construction work. I was doing a bunch of other stuff alongside of training, so it was fun. It was taking me everywhere.
So does that make it cooler to be here? And
100%. Before UFL season, I was just traveling out of my car, going to see the states and stuff, and then finding a trainer wherever state I was in, and so then got to do the UFL and do my thing and make that team, and then I was going to travel again. I was out here with Puka for a quick second, went to go travel a little bit while I was training, and then got called up from the Saints, and I was like, oh wow, just everywhere life is taking me, it's been crazy.
Did you have any, for that tour, did you map it out at that time, or was it just kind of spontaneous?
Yeah, just wherever I'm feeling. I went to Yellowstone, I drove up to Big Sur, and then just going through there, I've met some people, and they were just telling me more places to visit, and so I was like, all right, shoot, I'm going to go shoot for that spot next, and just drove out there, camp in my car a little bit, get a hotel, shower up. It was awesome. I was living the life I felt like.
How many states were you to?
I made it quite. I was literally probably driving along the whole West Coast. I drove the furthest out east was out to Atlanta for a couple of days. It was very different out there. It was awesome, and then came back. Probably made it out to like 8 or 9 states.
So how many do you have left?
Oh, frick, a lot. I'm trying to get to them all. I really want to go to Niagara Falls, so I think that would be awesome.
Do football games count, like as a state checked off?
Sort of. I only get a day. If I
Right.
could get 2 days, then I could go see something out there. Then I'd check it off. But now football, it's such a quick trip.
Where were you when you got the call?
Luckily, I was out here with Puka. Puka and Cooper Cup were letting me the opportunity to come out and train with those guys, and so I was out here with them, running around before they went into camp.
Did they train with the trainer in LA, or they were just?
They go. Yeah, they have a trainer. We were showing up at Coop's spot in the morning. Puka was throwing up, not me. I was solid running out there. I wouldn't throw up on Coop's lawn. It's not me.
How are you and Puka different? How are you the same? How would you compare your younger brother?
Physicalities, I think we're very the same, and it's just maybe he seems a little bit more sturdy and more physical, but I feel like I have the same physicality as him. He might be just a bit more attention to detail. I'm still trying to get that part, and like being more disciplined in some of the rules that our coaches entail for us and stuff. Puka's always been a really detailed guy with just everything he does in his life, and then onto the field too. So I've been trying to take a lot from him with that, and just trying to be a lot more disciplined and following his way in that.
Who's the fastest sibling?
Oh my goodness. I believe it's me. We were walking the In-N-Out the other week, and we hit an alley, and out of nowhere, Puka was like, 3, 2, 1, race. Ooh, we started taking off. I think I didn't see him behind me. I didn't see him in front of me. I don't know if he was beside me. So it's like, he said we were even. I always believe I'm the fastest. We're going to have to race again. We're going to have to get all the siblings, because I got so many. We're going to have to get them all lined up and get 20, 30-yard dash in. It'll be fun.
How many siblings you got playing ball?
Shoot. We have the youngest, Tay, just started his freshman year at BYU. He's also a receiver. One of the older brothers, Kai, he's still playing. He was the one in the league, bouncing around 7 years. He's in the UFL right now. I had an older brother, Isaiah, who was a defensive end. My oldest brother, Justin, he was a basketball, volleyball player. He was more soft. My sister was a basketball player. She was really the hardest one of us all. She used to bully us. But yeah, there's a lot of it. We all play sports. Yeah. Kai's still the more active one, the oldest out of the older group, and then me, the next one's still playing, and then the 2 younger ones.
How many of there are you?
6 boys, 1 girl. Yeah.
Do y'all have backyard games?
Oh, big parties back there. Fights, parties, you name it. We had a trampoline, no grass, just straight dirt and rocks, and we had no shield for the trampoline. And so we were all jumping all the time. My brothers would shove you off, head first into the rocks, waking up bloodied everywhere, right back onto the trampoline, having a great time. So it was a blast.
The 2 younger ones, so the other one's not even to college yet?
He just started his freshman year at BYU. Puka's younger than me.
Oh, duh.
Yeah, sorry. And then Tay.
Was it cool to end up in an offense with Taysom Hill and Jamal Williams?
Come on, some BYU legends. We got some Dallin Holker. He was there for a little bit. I played with Dallin before he left. And then I got my other cousin, Nephi Sewell, over here too. And so it was a nice relieving, stress reliever coming here and knowing some people to help me out a little bit and just feel more relaxed and feel at home.
When you say cousin, is that actual cousin or just?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, the Sewells, yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Football family.
Yeah, and I got to play with Nephi at Utah when he transferred over there too, so it's awesome. I got some U boys and some Cougars showing the love of both sides.
Little brotherhood with Samoan background.
Yeah, Samoan. I met my Samoan brother, Tali.
Right.
Yeah, and so me and him been kicking it. I've been telling him when we get the time, we got to get the bucket, get a little mix going on between me, him, and Nephi.
You're not the only brother wide receiver on this roster, too. Have you talked to Ecomenius at all about
we've been. He started coming out a little bit more. He's been. Yeah, but I've got to see him. We've been talking and joking around a little bit more. finally put it together that him and friggin' Amon Ra are brothers, and I was like, that makes sense actually. And so now I gotta bring that joke up and start connecting with him on brotherly loves.
Awesome. Is Louisiana going to be a new state for you next week?
What'd you say?
Is Louisiana going to be a new state for you next week?
I was there way younger once for AAU Nationals basketball. I didn't get to explore it, so basically, yeah, I'm excited for this. The humidity, everyone's telling me about it. I'm gonna love it.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. You have a good one.
Parks, National Parks.
Yeah.